It's the 1st of January 2021, so Happy New Year everyone. I'm just woke up early for some reason, felt the need to get out and get a bit of exercise, so I'm going to run down to the beach, have a look along there. The street cleaner's already out, clean up whatever happened last night. A lot of fireworks going off, which is normal for here. The Dutch do love their fireworks, and there's an awful lot being let off, you know, in the streets. Fire engines patrolling, police patrolling, but fingers crossed it didn't sound like there was too many major incidents last night. The Dutch particularly like their bonfires, and there used to be a bonfire competition at the beach of Duindorp, and they competed against the beach across the harbour in Hague to get the world's tallest. You see quite a lot of debris along here. You've still got that smell, fresh aroma of exploding fireworks. Yes, normally they hold the competition. Last year it was cancelled, essentially because in the previous year these towers can get up to 15 or more stories tall, set light them on the beach, but fortunately there was a wind blowing into the beach 2 years ago, and the structure on the Schravingen side collapsed, which they always do, but it sent like a shower of sparks and flames into the town, and they had a major incident of fires. Fortunately nobody lost their houses, but there were certainly cars and bicycles lost in that fire, and it was like a firestorm. It was one of those horrible firestorms you see on the news where it jumps streets. Briefly it was like that. It was horrific. It was like the air was filled with fire and cinder. So they were banned, but normally there's some protests, but it was very muted, so we only had fireworks for about quite a nice display all around where we live for about an hour, but then it calmed down. Still get some big booms in the early hours of the morning, but nothing like previous years. So I'm just coming out of Duindorp, past all the newly built flats here at the south beach, the Strand, and I'm just going to go down to the beach. I expect to see lots of walkers. Now normally there's what they call the New Year's dive, or the swim, that I did last year, but of course big organised events like that are all cancelled because of the shutdown. So I'm intrigued to see whether I see anybody in the sea this morning. I'm kind of at the wrong bit of the beach here, but you never know, there might be some brave souls. So here we are on the Duindorp beach. There's the breakwater for the harbour. There's the La Cantina beach restaurant. I suspect they'll be open a bit later, you know, just for takeaway. We haven't been able to sit in a restaurant since October here, or anywhere actually in the Netherlands. It all locked down together. So it's actually, you can see there are a few people, you might be able to see, there are a few people wandering along the beach. That's about 3 kilometres up to Kite Down up there, and then you can't see it now, but that direction is Schravingen and the pier and the Kurhaus and all those kind of well-known landmarks, or at least they are around here. Okay, so it's blowing a little bit into the beach, but not as windy as it was. It's cooler today. It was a lovely night, lots of stars out. Yeah, so it looks as though I'm going to get the beach a lot to myself today. Here we are, almost at the next stand, Slag 10. The entrance onto the beach is through the dunes. So I had a little bit of a incident yesterday morning. I went out to the local supermarket, the Jumbo, which is down in a bigger one, actually not far from here in Straven, and guys started loading these groceries behind me. You're all supposed to have trolleys, you're all supposed to distance, and it's 1.5 meters here, that's the rule. And he insisted on kind of leaning over me to load up the conveyor belt for paying. And I asked him politely, I said, you know, please, you know, stop for a moment and remember distance. And he started saying, oh, ik heb mijn man capture, my face mask. It was really difficult. I kind of lost my cool but I shouldn't do, really, because I don't think people realise the face masks don't help you to that extent. If you're close proximity, you're still breathing all over somebody. The aerosols are still venting. It's just stopping the major stuff. It's slowing that down, but it's still occurring, the aerosol. So anyway, I hope that between the two of us we didn't spread any infection any further. You never know, I guess, for about 2 weeks, but he's the closest person that's come to me other than Deb in, I don't know, months. Yeah, I wasn't in a happy place at that point, because you're kind of trapped in those situations because you're in a queue, trying to maintain distance and can't get out. I mean, honestly, I went like this with my hand and I had to hold back because I touched it, so he was that close when he started arguing with me. Anyway, other than that, I think people are starting to comply, but you get an idea of why the Dutch felt it, even to wear face masks had to be a mandated requirement, because people just don't get the rules, they don't follow them. Maybe as well, people don't hear, if they're not tuned into the mainstream media, if they're, for example, in this area, like me, a non-Dutch speaker, they might not pick up on it, but what the rules really are. He was Dutch, but again, he might not have really taken in the sometimes confusing picture that our government's got to keep it simple. Still distance, doesn't matter whether you're wearing a mask or not. If you're inside, stay there for limited time. Ventilation, being out in the open is your best form of defence and distance. So anyway, so that was my little entertainment. So I got thoroughly overheated, so I've decided to take some layers off. So a couple of brave souls. There's that lady there, and there's another lady a little bit further along. She said it was okay, but it was much warmer getting out of the water. So they've just been in for their New Year's dips. So yeah, so I'm going to carry on a little bit further along the dunes, and then I'm going to double back on myself. I don't think I'm going to go in because yeah, it's a bit of a way to get back home in the swell. I'll be soaking wet, really. Yeah, we'll see. And this isn't official. Oh no, the nudist beach is in a little while, so I could strip down to me in the altogether, but I don't really want to. Thank you very much. So anyway, there's the beach. Looks like a couple of other people have come down for their New Year's swim, maybe, or just sit and watch the waves come in. Yeah, so it's rather a nice morning and a nice start to 2021. So I've come off the beach now and just onto one of the dune trails and start to loop back. So everybody was very friendly this morning. Weren't many people out, but a couple of people out for a plunge and people walking dogs everybody was nice. Normally you don't get much acknowledgement, but today it's a new year, so everybody's very friendly and saying hi and exchanging a few words. So this is a trail that I've been, these ones, it's so nice to have these on your doorstep. They're easily runnable trails. You can see there's a few hills, as much as you get any hills in the Netherlands, but they can be hard work if you go onto the ones with the loose sand, so it compensates in part for not having proper hills. But it's so nice to have this on your doorstep and to be getting out into a bit of nature within a kilometre of your own house. This is the Borsjes van Poet, just across the little road from the dunes. Almost back. You can hear the perennial call of the dog owner in here, trying to find their dogs and keep them away from other dogs. So this is probably going to be about 6 kilometres by the time I finish. Nice and slow. Feeling a bit limb weary this morning. I just didn't go to bed till about 3 o'clock, so not much sleep. Which is never the best condition to run in, but just felt like a nice morning. Get out and stretch. So as I said before, you know, not too muddy. It's obviously muddy if you try and go through the trees, but most of the trails around here are sand or gravel, or it's ground up shells, and as I've found before, you don't want to fall over on that stuff because it's like falling on broken glass sometimes. Anyway, once again, Happy New Year everyone, and fingers crossed these shutdowns will have the effect that's needed and we can start travelling and at least seeing each other at distance. At the moment, the requirement as of 1st of January, of course the UK left the EU 11 months ago, but it's been under EU provisions until last night, midnight, and now we're in a new relationship. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, pretty much been stopped from travelling, so this is the first year, despite living away from the UK so many years, first Christmas I haven't been able to fly back. And in fact now the requirements are we should be okay because we've got residency here. So the Dutch at the moment are only allowing, certainly from the UK, but I think it applies to anybody outside the EU now. You have to be a Dutch citizen or a Dutch resident to actually certainly fly, and I think that applies now to the boats and the train as well. And then when you come back in, you've also got to present a negative coronavirus test that's been done within the previous 3 days. So yeah, good reason just to stay put for the moment. So that's my run over. So I'm back to the Fred. Looks pretty clean along here actually, considering what normally happens on New Year's, but fireworks have been banned for so long now and we have been in shutdown for a while. So yeah, it's rather nice getting out and look around, and as I say, everybody was nice and friendly. So yeah, looking forward to a nice 2021.